Hey guys, my name is Mike, and I'm one of the proud fathers of one of the little girls that has gained so much attention on this website over the last couple days. So here's my daughter Eva, and here's this other precious little girl. Now, by and large, there has been an overwhelming show of support and love from the community. But there's been two topics that just keep creeping into the comments section of the posts for these two little girls especially. Those girls are way too young. There is no way that they could ever have a thought for themselves or think in the way that they are portrayed to. You are forcing atheism on these little girls. That makes me sad. Now, first I thought, oh, what the heck? What can I do about this? But then I got to thinking, there really is a problem when people are judging others for the way they parent when they really have no idea at all how they're parenting. Now, I'm not entirely sure where you get your answers from, but whenever I have an issue, I try and face it, try to address it, and I try to correct it. So I'm making a video. Here it is. I'm not going to spend a week on this. I'm not going to spend many days on this. It's 9 o'clock right now, Friday night. I'm just going to try and make a video really quick, throw a couple pictures in there, and then I'm going to be done. So if I mess up a word or two, and it's not the prettiest video you've ever seen, it happens. So your question, why? Why would I do this? Why would I bother? How does random people's opinion on the internet actually affect my life in the slightest? It doesn't. But in case you couldn't tell, I'm all about sharing knowledge. Now, this video is by no means a condemnation of the way that you parent. I'm simply telling you the way that I parent and why I feel that directly leads to my daughter, who is 6, being able to think for herself, and hopefully that transitions into her being a respectable adult who doesn't feel the need to troll around the internet, finding pleasure in going to posts of other people's kids and acting like a jerk face. Now, I can't speak to how this little girl is raised. I'm not her parent. I've never met her parents. All I really know about her is the things I've read in the comments section on this page. So I'm not going to be talking about that at all. I'm just talking about my kids and how they're raised. But let's look at her for a second. She's gorgeous, isn't she? So now on to my kids. I have 2. Right here is my son. But since this whole post is about my daughter, we're not going to talk about my son much, even though my son is amazingly awesome. We're not going to talk about him right now. We are going to talk about my daughter. This is Eva. And I want to make it absolutely clear that I totally support Eva in whatever she wants to do. If she wants to be a superhero with her brother, I let her be a superhero with her brother. I fully support her, and I don't confine her to what must be done by 6-year-old girls. I allow my daughter to dream. And when I say I support my children in whatever they do, I mean it. Just a couple weeks ago, Eva wanted to do a polar plunge, where we raise money to help support a good cause. She wanted to jump into 33-degree water. I was right there with my little girl. I don't treat my children like sheep. I don't talk to my kids. I talk with them. No, I'm not perfect, and sometimes I yell at them, but by and large, I try to include them in decisions and talk everything over with them so they understand the world around them. I take time for them to discover everything. Get dirty, get messy, get wet. Here, they're not just playing with water, they're actually learning. They're figuring out how small leaves have to be to actually get washed away in the current of the rainwater. This was their idea, not mine. They are thirsty for knowledge. If I get to pick her up, maybe we'll take the long way home from school so she can discover and explore nature and how it works and actually participate and be a part of life and figure out everything. Don't ever assume that children can't think because they're so young. I challenge her and she rises right up to face me. Eva wants to be a scientist when she grows up. That's not for me. I'm not a scientist. And she tells me if that doesn't work out, then she'll be an astronaut. She built this pack by herself. She gets creative ideas, and it's not by magic. She gets them because I allow her to think for herself and to learn about anything she asks me. I allowed her to take charge, and she does. One time, her and the local girls were playing out back, and Eva wanted to easily get up a tree. Being the smallest, she didn't ask me for help. She didn't care. She wanted up that tree, and she started telling all of her friends how they could build a ladder out of the things laying in their yards. Then, after about 20 minutes, there she is. I like to think that it's because I let her be herself, and I allow her freedom to explore and think that her experiences in life will be what make her a better person. I don't tell her to help others, she just does it. It's not magic, it's just treating little people like they're actually people and not robots. Now here's the thing. Nothing I've said is atheist. Nothing's Christian, nothing's creationist, nothing's evolutionist. It's just the way I parent. It's not the way you have to parent. It's not the only way to parent. It's just the way I parent. But I would hope that you as a parent, or a soon-to-be parent, or a will sometime in the future be parent, that you don't shove your own worldview onto your child and force them to live that way. You know, I remember before when my kids asked me, Daddy, does God exist? I didn't tell them, no, God does not exist. I didn't tell them yes. I asked them, well, what do you think? I let them know, some people in the world think God does exist. Some people think God does not exist. Some people think many gods exist. What are your thoughts on this subject? Have a thought for yourself on this. And it's not about being an atheist. It's just about not shoving your own worldview onto your children. That's what this video is about. People say, oh, she can't have a thought for herself. She's only 6 years old. No, she can. The problem is you've probably never been exposed to that. Either the way you parent, you do shove that on your children, or you've only ever been exposed to people doing that. That's what free thinking is all about. Children have amazing minds. Even at like 2 years old, the human mind is amazing. Sit them down, talk to them, discover things with them. Humans, the human mind is incredible. It's this tool developed, from ape-like ancestors that it makes us what we are and gives us the ability to do everything to make all this. Don't shut it down. Don't force them to not think. Don't give them just your own spiel. Give them the world. They deserve it. And if one day one of my children came to me and said, Daddy, I'm religious, I'd say, okay, cool. Tell me why. Tell me rationally how you came to that thought. Don't give me something stupid like I wouldn't want to live in a world without God. That's not a real thought. That's not a rational explanation for how you came upon your worldview. But if they can give me one, if they can explain it to me, you're damn right I'll support them. And when my daughter has a thought on her own, from her own experiences, from how she has viewed the world and lived through it, I will support her. It's not me shoving my own thoughts and ideas down her throat. It's her thoughts and her ideas from how I've enabled her to live. And don't you dare criticize this little girl's parents, because you have no idea how she's being raised. Ewok.
Thanks for watching.